Hey guys, Boss Ramos, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this replica of Hard Rock Stadium. It's a dope little fandom thing, honestly. It's dope. It has even the field says Dolphins and stuff. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, but dope little thing. In all seriousness, we're going to be going over Miami Dolphins Week 4 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is 1-2. Miami is 3-0. We're having Joe Burrow versus Tua Tagovailoa all over again. Last time they faced off was in Alabama, where Joe Burrow got the best of him in terms of getting a win. But what a game it was between the two of them. They combined for almost over 1,000 yards total in passing. So get your popcorn. I think this one's going to be a really good one on Thursday Night Football Prime. Don't forget to check that out. And make sure you're prepped and ready to watch it then. Kickoff is at 8:15, September 29th at, it's not Paul Brown Stadium anymore. It's Paycor Stadium. With that being said, we're going to get into the video. I'm going to put this in the back real quick. Be right back. But first, a word from our number one wide receiver, number two, whatever you want to say, Tyreek Hill and Tua, talking about a Bengals cornerback.
Oh, we play on Primetime that week? I didn't even know that.
Amazon Prime.
Oh, we play on Amazon Prime?
Thursday.
Oh, that's going to be lit right there. I didn't even know that for real. But, yeah, we're looking forward to who we play?
Bengals.
We're looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be fun, you know. And I can't wait to go against Eli Apple, man. I owe you, boy. I owe you. I'm here. The cheetah is here. That's it.
Intel.
All right.
You know, if Tyreek is matched up with him and we call a play for Tyreek and it's one-on-one, I'm giving Tyreek a shot. Just know that he is getting the ball.
It's not a good thing when you have people calling you out specifically. So I know Tyreek is still a little butthurt about what happened in the AFC Championship game when he was a member of the Kansas City Chiefs while the Bengals were able to move on to the Super Bowl last year. It's time to get his revenge. And even Tua backed him up. He said, hey, if it's one-on-one and he has a shot, the ball's going to him. So lots of things to say about that. You know, it's good to see, you know, a little competitive spirit and, you know, being a little bit more aggressive when it comes to addressing your opponents. But the last thing you want is for that to burn you, you know. But anyways, let's get into this preview. Miami Dolphins, according to ESPN's matchup predictor, not favored. 24.5% chance of winning to the Bengals, 75.3%. Ties 0.3%. Spread. Dolphins are +4, Bengals -4. Money line +175 for the Dolphins, -210 for the Bengals. Over under set at 47. Dolphins third week in a row not being favored going into a matchup, which kind of absurd to me. I think last week was expected to not be in their favor, but these last two games I think quite absurd, if you ask me. Let's talk about some injuries. We'll start off with the Dolphins. Everyone I'm listing right now is questionable, so I'm not going to go say questionable each time. Teron Armstead, offensive tackle, toe injury still. He's been dealing with it since week 1. He's been able to hold up. Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle, knee. Xavier Howard, groin. Cedric Wilson, ribs. Jalen Waddle, groin. And Tua, back. It's really a concussion. It is what it is. Brandon Jones, questionable chest. And that's about it in terms of questionable. Keelan Carter, tight end, and Hunter Long, tight end, are both still out. Carter's still dealing with concussion, while Hunter Long is still dealing with an ankle injury. Austin Jackson still on the injured reserve, so is Clayton Feldrum. Byron Jones still on the PUP list. Calvin Munson still on injured reserve. Same thing with Adam Shaheem and Trill Williams, but is what it is with those guys. Adam Shaheem tried trading him, did not pass physical. Now he's stuck on our roster for injured reserve. Sucks. Now, with the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals have Jermaine Pratt, linebacker, questionable with a knee injury, and Leo Collins, offensive tackle, with a back injury. Players who are ruled out are DJ Reader, defensive tackle, knee injury. Drew Sample, tight end. He's just listed as out, no specific injury listed. Clark Harris, long snapper, is on injured reserve. Same thing for Isaiah Prince, offensive tackle. a few other guys. I'm not going to go through the list because these guys have been listed as injured or out over a month now. About so. That being said, let's talk about some of the things to look forward to in this matchup. As I alluded to earlier, the Tua and Joe Burrow matchup is something that is appealing to pretty much anyone who's been following football for the past, I would say, 4 to 5 years. Tua had a really good career in Alabama, and then along came Joe Burrow, who had an amazing final year before heading into the draft and really just not being talked about to end up being the number 1 overall pick, which is pretty absurd. Something that we haven't seen for in a long time in terms of a guy, really climbing up the draft board. And then on top of that, once they get into the league, proving their worth. Joe Burrow pretty much almost instantly proved his worth, given he had the injury his rookie season, but followed up with an amazing sophomore season and going to the Super Bowl. And that's a huge thing for a young player to do. Tua, on the other hand, been dealing with some injuries. It's very unfortunate, but right now things are looking good for him. His team is the only undefeated team left in the AFC, so those are some things that he can go into this matchup bragging about and possibly come out undefeated once again. Another thing is the Bengals are debuting their white helmets, all white uniform. Dolphins are wearing all aqua, obviously white helmet. They don't have another secondary helmet. Let's talk about Joe Burrow. Currently not too far off from Tua. Tua has 925 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow, 812 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Chase Edmonds is Dolphins' leading rusher, which is pretty much half of what the Bengals' leading rusher has. Chase Edmonds, 23 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 58 carries, 163 yards. And then when it comes to receiving, that's where the Dolphins have a little bit more of an upper hand. But we'll talk about the Bengals receivers too. Jalen Waddle, 19 receptions, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 21 receptions, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, with that being said, the Bengals have a better receiving core in terms of depth because they have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. Those are a 3-headed monster, and then you add on to the fact that they have Joe Mixon in the backfield. Really helps out that offense a lot and helps out Joe Burrow find success, which that's what happened a lot last year. When it comes to scoring, Dolphins are averaging more points per game, almost 28 points per game per the Bengals, 21. And then just about Dolphins are allowing about 21 points a game, while the Bengals are allowing about 18 points a game. When it comes to moving the ball, just about the same, 372 yards total. Dolphins do more in the passing game. Bengals do a little bit more in the running game. When it comes to defensive yards allowed, Dolphins, once again, getting torched in that. And I think that's a lot to give credit to the 2 quarterbacks the Dolphins just faced in Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and their offenses. They were able to move the ball in the Dolphins, but then when it push came to shove, they struggled to score. The Ravens had 2 breakaway plays that really hurt the Dolphins defensively, and on top of that, you add on the stats. 2 75-plus yard touchdowns. It's not a good day, but we're able to share things up against the Bills when it came down to it. So that's a big thing. Bengals haven't seen much lately. They faced the Steelers week 1, who had Mitch Trubisky at a quarterback, and ended up losing the game in overtime, which was something crazy because they were able to come back because it seemed like they were pretty much dead in the water. And then on top of that, you lose another close one to the Dallas Cowboys, who are without Dak Prescott. So, that's something that you look at it and you're like, you're losing 2 second-string quarterbacks essentially. And then same thing almost happened last week. Luckily, they were able to control the game for the most part against the Jets. They led the whole time, so that's something that you can applaud them for. But did not have a good game necessarily against the Jets because they were still somewhat lingering in that game. Now, when that being said, let's talk about the keys to victory for the Miami Dolphins. First and foremost, do not allow Tua to get concussed once again. No, I'm kidding. Hope he never gets concussed again. But in reality, Tua needs to be protected, and that's something the offensive line has been doing good. And also, he's been able to make adjustments when it comes to shifting himself a bit in the pocket and allowing himself an extra second just to get a playoff. And it's been working out pretty well first 2 games. Last game, not so much. They can barely move the ball on offense. Secondly, on offense, continue establishing that run game. Cincinnati is allowing almost 86 yards per game. I want to see the Dolphins eclipse 100 total yards rushing combined. I would love to see Chase Edmonds break 100, but reality, he hasn't proven that for the most part of his career, so I'm not fully expecting that. And that's not really what the Dolphins' offense is doing. But once they do get the run game going, I think this offense can kick it into another gear and be really hard to stop. Top of that, get Tyreek the ball when Eli Apple's lined up one-on-one against him. Defensively, apply as much pressure to Joe Burrow. Throughout this season, I think he's one of the more stacked quarterbacks when it comes to that. I'll go over fully when it comes to those stats. But, yeah, it's something that has proven more sufficient. He's been sacked for a total of 7 times versus Steelers, 6 times versus Dallas, 2 times versus the Jets. You see, so the games that he was sacked more than 5 times, ended up losing. He was sacked 15 times so far through 3 games. So averaging just about 5 sacks per game allowed. If you apply pressure to Joe Burrow, it's gonna obviously make his throws a little bit more errant, and on top of that, just make him a little more impatient, forcing possibly turnovers, just drop balls, inaccurate balls, whatever it may be. Just get pressure on Joe Burrow. Secondly, do not let more than 2 of the Bengals receivers beat you. I'm fine if one of them has a really good game, but if more than one, then that's already showing that this is not going to be a good game for the Dolphins. I know their secondary, while it's doable without Byron Jones right now, it's still not great, and we're allowing a lot of yards in the passing game when realistically we have one of the better secondaries in the NFL. But the way they're playing their coverages, it's definitely kind of more of the what I've been mentioning, bend don't break type of defense. So it is what it is. And then on top of that, just be cool. Do not want to let the emotions of being 3-0 get to them too much. Right now they are one of the more talked about teams in the league, and I don't want to see this team get full of themselves and really mess up and shit the bed on Primetime. So just please don't do that. And everything should be good. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And post-game review should hopefully come immediately after the game. Give or take an hour or 2. We'll see what happens. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Later. Peace.